Welcome to Ask the Professor. I am your host, Professor Ben, and we get together live every Wednesday at 11:45 Eastern, and we're talking about business, we're talking about influence, and any of the questions that the audience has that comes up. So all kinds of good stuff today. And we are joined by our producer, thank goodness, Ari, helping us stay on track. So thank you for jumping in. And we have a returning co-host today, Indie Bollman. Thank you for jumping in. And for those of you that have not met Indy yet, not only is she a longtime HR leader, she is a keynote speaker, and to top it off, the author of the best-selling book, Leadership Truth Bombs. Indy, thank you for jumping in and come back with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. And we should say the one, the only Ari, right?
The one and the only.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you guys for, having me back. And to everybody who's out there listening and watching and tuning in, we're just so glad to have you here and talk a little bit more about accountability. So welcome.
Heck yeah. Can we do a little shameless plug? Ari, do you have a picture of her book? Because for those of you that are watching, if you have not ordered the book, if you haven't gone to Amazon and ordered the book, you have to go do that now, because this is just the kind of reading where you're like, oh, this is so true. You need that kind of support and that backup as a leader, and this book gives that to you. So you got to go get it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Love shameless plugs, and I appreciate that. I would love for everybody to take a peek at it, and I would love to get your feedback on what you think. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. And we got Becky Simon. Thank you for jumping in on the show. I love the sessions, leadership lessons. Yes, we're always glad to have you here. And we've seen some of your comments around, so we do appreciate that. Thank you for jumping in. So today we're continuing our conversation on leadership and accountability. Now, I know that, Indy, this gets you fired up, and apparently it's contagious because it got a lot of our audience fired up in our last show that you were on. So today I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, right? We talked about the 3 expectations of accountability, right? As a leader, we got to live the 3 expectations of accountability. Super important. We get it. How do we do it? Like, let's get in the weeds. Let's help our audience start to put this into action today so that they can create a culture of accountability and see more wins. Does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds like a great idea to me, Ben.
All right.
And just talking about those expectations, that also gets me fired up. But those who know me would say I stay pretty fired up. This is just one of the top reasons why accountability is a big subject, and everybody should be paying attention to it, especially if you're a leader, because listen, your people want to get fired up about how you're serving people and your company, and they want to understand their role in it. Accountability is a great way to get there.
I love that. So you're always fired up, but when we talk about accountability, it just takes it to a whole new level. I get it. I totally get it. All right. So let's dig into step 1 of the 3 expectations of accountability, and that is modeling the expectations. And I'll let you jump in and start this one. Indy, like, what does that mean to you as a leader? I've got to model my expectations.
Yeah, Ben, and thank you for putting me right in on this part, because this is really the foundation of leadership, is to keep in mind that your team is always watching you. And I don't mean in a stalky or weird way. I mean, they're looking up to you. They're trying to figure out, what is it I need to become, skills I need to learn, ways I need to expand what I know and do and how I treat others to get to a higher level in what I want to do, in my 9 to 5 or whatever the shift is. And so the first one under modeling that expectation for accountability is, you better redefine it for yourself. Because if accountability to you means I'm watching to catch them doing something wrong, I'm watching to make sure I correct what I need to correct, that's going to come through your spirit and how you're handling it. But if you're defining it for yourself as, I'm giving them a shot to do what I know they can do, they're ready to grow, I'm going to give them a chance at it, I'm going to let them feel empowered because they appear to be reliable and determined and hungry to try something, that's accountability that leadership can really take to the bank when you're growing and developing a team.
I love it. So let them own the wins along with the challenges and the failures that we're all going to have anyway, but let them like really own the wins when it comes to accountability. I think that's so powerful. And so now that we've defined it for ourselves, what does accountability mean to me as a leader? What do I do now to lead by example?
Yeah, well, I think you keep that in mind in what you're doing. So you're modeling that approach, you're acting on it, you're giving people the chance. And that means you're demonstrating that trust in what they can do. You're transparent about how things are going, what needs to change, what could be better. And my goodness, what they're doing great. Don't forget and celebrate those things. And you're teaching them to have ownership in what they're doing. Delegation is a big part of accountability. And my other famous hashtag I like, or famous or not, it's famous to me, is delegating is teaching. Your whole
Yeah.
point of being a leader is to teach people and help them grow. And accountability is a big part of that. And when your team sees you showing that mindset, leading with it, communicating with it, helping other people, other team members, they're going to embrace that as well. And then the cool thing about it is when they become leaders, they're going to do it too. And so you're really setting up not only your current team, but goodness, who knows how many teams to come down the line.
Ooh, that's a great segue into expecting the cascade, right? So as leaders, we're modeling this. So like one thing that comes to mind is you've got leadership that is really trying to gather more metrics, gather more data so they can make better decisions. So they've got to hold their team accountable to utilizing Power BI or their CRM or whatever. That's important to me. I've got to show them that I live with that data. I'm utilizing the data that I'm asking you to enter so that we can all make better decisions as an organization. The last thing we want to do is harp on someone to go utilize that data, go utilize that software, and then we're not even utilizing it ourselves, right? So like we've got to own that as part of it. I think it's super important.
We've got a comment from recurring fan, Iris Andy. From my experience, if you don't model your desired behavior, then your team has nowhere to start.
Yeah. What are they even trying to look up to? I love that. I absolutely love that.
That is so true. And here's Iris. It's so good to see you again. Another I, first name beginning with an I. Go team I. She's absolutely right. But they'll figure out a place to start because they're just making it up. If they can see what's working. And I'll tell you, one of the ways a team will judge what's working is by how it's making them feel. And if they really feel empowered and trusted, and I can do this, and yes, I might mess up, but I'm going to be shown how to do it even better, 100%, they're going to trust their leader. And that's just a cycle that, it just self-fulfills, not only the leader, but 100% the team to keep going and, growing and trying new things.
Indy, you said something that just hit me like a ton of rocks here. It's so powerful.
What was that?
And that is that if you don't lead by example, they're still going to create their own way of doing things. And the chances of those two being what you're looking for in your culture as a leader, it's pretty slim.
Yep.
Right. So if you're not leading by example, you're letting them just kind of wander on their own. You got to get lucky to create an intentional culture. And we know that's not going to work.
It's 100%, Ben.
Good.
If leaders have not defined the best culture that suits the organization and putting teams in there that thrive under that culture, everybody's just willy-nilly making their own thing up. And that's where things go haywire, because then you're not hiring to support that and leading to continue that and nurture it as it moves forward.
Okay, so again, thank you for that segue to expect the cascade, right? The second expectation of accountability. We're modeling it as leaders. We've given some great examples. Now we've got to communicate that new perspective. What are some of the best practices that you have on that, Indy?
Well, right after you're clear on what it means to you, I mean, you have to teach that. You have to share that with them. Tell them. Make it clear what it means to you. What are those attributes, like being trustworthy? We have a growth mindset. It's not punishment. You have to say this and portray this in how you're leading. And always teaching from that place of accountability is, your chance to shine. It's the rocket fuel I keep talking about. It should inspire people to take that next step in their career and in what they're doing. It should help them want to grow more. And if you're explaining why that's so important, because listen, your business is not going to grow if your team's not growing. And this is one way to help them see how important that is to you. And then they will feel that and be aware of that importance as the company moves along and they move along with it.
Yeah, something really sticks out. Oh, here, ours, Andy, say this and portray this. I love that. Yeah, you got to be able to be consistent
Like
there.
it.
There's something that you said that sticks out is that it's not punishment. Without
Mhm.
accountability, it's very difficult to win as a team. So when we're accountable, it's an opportunity. You mentioned rocket fuel. It's an opportunity for us to win as a team. And that's something that every team wants to be part of, wants to do. They want to
Mhm.
win. We want to be part of a winning team. And if each member is accountable for that specific part of their team,
Mhm.
we're going to get wins more often. And that's a team that we all want to be on.
Sure. And I just want to add one little thing, and I'm watching the time too, Ben, though, also with it not being punishment. If a leader feels like it is punishment, I would ask them to reflect back on their early years and their career and what started that. That
Mm,
definition of
yeah.
its punishment in their mind, really reflect back on that and then get rid of it as soon as you can. Because if it made you feel bad when you were developing in your own career, don't do the same thing to the current team because today's talent wants to be inspired and developed. The days of the carrot and the stick are gone. And they really never were. They just used to work a long time ago. Today they don't. And I applaud that. I say go for it. Make them feel better and let them know what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It does not have to be punishment at all. So that brings us to our third part of our third ingredient here in accountability of the three expectations, and that is inspect what you expect. And man,
Mhm.
I have seen leaders drop the ball on this, and it hurts everybody involved. And Indy, I'll let you start on this. Inspect what you expect. What does that mean to you? How do you see that getting
Mm.
implemented?
Well, I think again, this is clarity, and all of this starts foundationally on the first step, which is defining what it means to you. So, once you've done that and you've cascaded out and communicated it, what is the result, that you hope to see from it? How should that look in your mind when you're reutilizing accountability as a source for influence and inspiration? And so, if that's built on trust, as it absolutely should be, taking that initiative, owning your results as well, and teaching others to own their results, and use that again to kind of launch into the next phase. If it's wrong, if something happened, or you need to learn from it, accountability means okay, I'm also going to be accountable rather, to reassess and redefine how I need to do it the next time that's going to win and take things further. So it's always that coming back to celebrating the success. I mean, everybody needs a thank you or a pat on the back. And certainly, trust is a huge, huge, all capital word here. And accountability and reinforcing that is really stops on the leader's desk to do that.
It does. And so let's take that trust to the next level.
Hmm.
Trust and verify, right? Trust and verify. There are situations sometimes in teams where I think I'm going down the right path as an individual contributor, and I think I'm going to end with a win, but maybe I don't have the experience to identify some of the hurdles that are up ahead. And if I could rely on my leadership team, some mentors to inspect what they're expecting, right? To trust me and verify so that I don't go down the wrong path too long.
Hmm.
That's where I know I'm set up for success. Because if
Sure.
my team lead is not verifying, is not looking for the wins, like you mentioned, or looking for opportunities to improve the current situation, I could go down the wrong path in a way that is difficult for me to get out of it and turn the ship
Mm,
around.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's all learning. That whole phase is
Yes.
learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So that show me, you hear this a lot on this show, the show me phrase. So whether it
Mhm.
is someone on your team that's excited about something that they've done, show me the big wins that you've had. Show me what you've been doing and working on so that A, I can celebrate with you, and B, if there's
Mhm.
something that we need to identify as a correction before it gets too late, I'm here to have your back on that as well. That's that teaching
Right.
component.
And if you've done this right, show me doesn't mean I'm looking for what's wrong. Show me means trust me that I'm helping you take the next step after this one. That's what show me is I got your back and I see what you're capable of, even if you don't see it yet.
Yeah, I got your back. So why do you think it's so difficult for leaders to be clear and kind of separate the I'm trying to catch you doing something wrong versus I've got your back, I'm here to help? Like where do we go wrong as leaders? Because that's a pretty fine line. And there's so much
Mm-hmm.
win to have when I've got your back and I'm here to help
Mm-hmm.
guide you versus I'm going to watch you mess up and then I'm going to bust you. Two very different things. And there's such a fine line between them.
Yeah, and Ben, I will disagree with you on this. I don't think it's a fine line at all. I think intention is a very clear line of distinction. If your intention is to gain some sort of power or feeling better about yourself by catching people doing wrong and saying, look how smart I am, I have to fix this for you. If that's your intention, that's what they're going to get. They won't get any of this yummy, I can do this inspiration, which is what you want. If your intention is to say, okay, let's try it this other way because I think you'll be better at it, that's a very different level of communicating. And, we were talking about in the very beginning, they'll feel that difference. So intention is the big word here. Another I word, Iris, it's very important, intention. Because if you have the right intention to help them grow, help them learn, even when they stumble, and they're going to stumble, you did when you were developing in your leadership, they'll know that that's why you're helping them change something, is with the intention to help them grow further.
So I love that. And I want to rephrase that fine line component because I think that's really important. Is leaders are afraid to hold their team accountable because they feel like they're going to tip the wrong way. And so they would like to have their back, the team's back. They would like to create more wins. They just feel like, man, if I have a scorecard, if I'm holding somebody accountable to something, it's going to be looked at the wrong way. It might be misconstrued. And so I'm just going to step away from accountability as a leader instead of go the right direction. How do we help leaders feel like I'm ready to go the right direction and I can do this?
I sound like I'm repeating the same thing, so forgive me, but I just really think if you have in your heart the intention to help them grow, that changes the picture. It changes the conversation. It also changes the level of trust and how open they're going to be about how they feel about things moving along and growing along. So if a leader is frightened to correct something and change it, I would just ask them, well, how have you done that before that it didn't work? Okay, don't do that then. Change it. And that's coming right back to redefining what it means for you. And so I don't know if I really answered your question, but intention is a big old deal. Big deal.
I think intention's huge. I think reflection on like where have things gone wrong before. And then Indy, as you're talking through this, Ari, if you can put back that other slide 2, I think we had that communication part.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Leaders communicate with your team what accountability looks like. Communicate your intentions. Why are we creating a culture of accountability within our team? So Indy, to your point, if my intentions are in the right place, I'm communicating those intentions to the team up front.
Yeah.
Now we're tipping on the correct side of that line.
Right.
And the team is bought into what accountability looks like, what it feels like, and how it's going to guide us to more wins.
Right. Those two things, they're a package deal or neither of them works.
Yes.
So communicating and having that right intention, but you have to back it up with that's how I'm living it and that's how I'm leading with it. Either they both work together or neither one of them do anything because they don't jive, right? They don't sync. They don't feel right together. And even if a team doesn't understand what feels off, something feels off. And so that's where that becomes so important, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. So let's go with that last visual. We're out of time, unfortunately, flying by. Let's go with our last visual, Ari, if we have it, is just the 3 there we go. That's awesome. So Indy, to your point, these 3 things work together. We have to have all 3 to hold up the system. And that's what's going to help us guide our team to more wins through accountability. It was awesome. Indy, thank you for jumping in on the show as
Thank you.
always. I'm going to do it. I did it last time, and here you are. So I'm going to do it again live. Can we get you back again? Can we have some more words of wisdom from you on another show?
Of course. How could I resist the professor and the one, the only Ari, and those shameless plugs? I'll take it all. Another great
Amen to
package
that.
deal. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ari. Thank you very much, audience. Thank you guys for chiming in and watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.